Welcome to, good evening, and welcome to the 2023 annual meeting of the membership of the Jewish Historical Society of Greater New Haven. My name is Marjorie Drucker, and I am president of the society. Thank you all for joining us remotely for the third consecutive year. Although we continue to meet online, let me assure you that during this past year, your Jewish Historical Society has remained quite busy and engaged in the activities that our mission statement speaks to. Please advance. The mission statement is noted here. The mission of the Jewish Historical Society of Greater New Haven is to collect, publish, and preserve archival materials and to serve as a research and educational center documenting the history of the civic, cultural, and religious contributions of the Greater New Haven Jewish community. We have been busy and engaged in activities that our mission speaks to. Our mission statement continues to inform and guide our work, and I am pleased to share it once again with you. And here it is, as we just discussed it. Next slide. Now I am pleased to present tonight's agenda. Throughout this meeting, we will highlight the activities and events of what we believe has been a very productive and meaningful year for our organization. We'll have a welcome and a remembrance and an annual report, an installation of our officers and directors. We'll conduct other business and an adjournment. We wanted to share with you a photo collage that reflects our year in review. And I'm just going to go around and explain what each of the pictures are. If we start clockwise from the upper left, we see Jeanette Coogan-Oren with her Hanukkah stamp. We had an evening where we learned about her stamp and the way that she created it, and we'll talk more about that later. The next image you see is a display at the New Haven Museum of Judith Schiff's memorabilia that was on display for the first annual Women's History program that was held there. Next to that is stained windows that are found in the Congregation Mishkan Israel Cemetery Chapel, which was another program that we did early in the fall. To the right of that is the Shalom Baby Cafe sign that shows that we sponsored the music and movement portion of their expo, Baby Expo Shalom Baby Cafe. If we go down from there, you'll see that we had in March, we were part of a presentation of remarkable Jewish women that was held at the New Haven Museum. And this is one of the panels that was there of the trailblazing women. To the left of that is an image from our recent walk where we toured Jewish sites of New Haven with Rob Forbes and Aaron Good. To the left of that is our May kickoff location of Ricotta Kosher Bakery, where we began our Great Give season. And to the left of that is a display case of some of the archival gems of the Jewish Historical Society that was prepared by Jacob, our project archivist, for the 35th anniversary of the AHC. By the way, Jacob also did the display of Judith Schiff's memorabilia. We'll keep that there for a minute. As our mission states, our rich history is the product of our community and all the many contributions of people like you who support our work, as well as those who have come before us and are departed. So let us move forward and remember those people. It's my privilege to reflect with you on the members of the Jewish Historical Society who have passed away since last year's annual membership meeting. We honor the memory of the following members that are our past members: Bernard Alderman, Ruth Ann Beckerman, Carl Klorman, Howard Reiter, Stanley Sachs, Judith Ann Schiff, and Jack Yackerson. Zichronim Livracha. May their memories be for a blessing. This year, we were saddened by the passing of several of our organization's leaders whose contributions and lives have had a lasting impact on our community. It is my honor to pay special tribute to three individuals who each brought something very special to us in their visionary works of leadership and philanthropy. Judith Ann Schiff was a founding member of our society and the Ethnic Heritage Center, a past president, and for many years, the director of our Harvey and Eleanor Layden archives. She served our entire community in her capacity as historian of the city of New Haven and as Yale University's chief research archivist. You will be hearing more about the Jewish Historical Society's initiative to honor Judith's work and her blessed memory. Carl Klorman. At this time, we also pause to remember our former board secretary and longtime member and supporter, Carl Klorman, whose unexpected passing came too soon. Carl always made our organization an important part of his life. Stanley Sachs. Finally, we take a moment to remember Stanley Sachs, whose contributions to the Jewish community and to the Jewish Historical Society we honored in our 2019 annual award celebration. We are grateful to have had these individuals link their personal histories to ours. And again, we say, Zikronam Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. We are proud of the work that has been accomplished over this past year with a very small part-time staff and volunteers. Over this past year, our staff consisted of three very talented individuals: Patricia Illingworth, research archivist; Jacob Griffith Rosenberger, project archivist; and digital archivist Daniel Harpin. In April, we saw the bittersweet departure of Daniel Harpin, whose talents helped to greatly enhance our administrative and technical capabilities. Daniel recently accepted a full-time position that utilizes his educational preparation and technical skills. We wish him the best. In May, we were fortunate to be joined by Juliana Paolini in the part-time position of technical assistant. Juliana is enrolled in the master's degree program in the library and information science at Southern Connecticut State University and has previously worked as a Jewish Historical Society intern under the direction of the late Marvin Barger, our beloved archivist emeritus of blessed memory. With the support of our staff, we are pleased to share with you the following archival statistics. Our new accessions during 2022 to 2023 include 7 objects, 2 scrapbooks, and 5 archival collections. We had 45 research projects completed, and we responded to research requests from 8 states. We also responded to 1 research request of an international basis from Israel. You may proceed to the next slide. Beyond these statistics, it was a very exciting year in terms of organizational activities and new programs presented to our membership and to the greater community. I'd like to start with the programs. Last October, we partnered for the first time with the New Haven Preservation Trust on a program and tour of the chapel at the Mishkan Israel Cemetery in Westville. The program focused on the architectural design and historical significance of the focal point of our community's oldest Jewish burial ground. The following month celebrated 2 literary achievements of our local Jewish community. First, we were invited to co-sponsor a talk by Iranian Jewish author Roya Hakakian with the Judaic Studies Department at Southern Connecticut State University. In November, we also had the unique honor of having our board member and past president, Rob Forbes, present a scholarly and enlightening talk on his recently published book, Notes on the State of Virginia, annotated edition. Yasher Koach, Rob. In January of this year, we participated in a video presentation commemorating the U.S. Postal Service's selection of the Hanukkah stamp design of local Judaica artist Jeanette Kubin Oren. The presentation also included a talk by Canadian philately stamp collecting expert Irv Osterer on the international art of stamp design with Jewish themes. Also in January, we heard from Daniel Harpin, our former digital archivist, regarding his area of expertise and how he puts it to work in our Jewish Historical Society archives. In February, by popular demand, we offered our members an updated and curated virtual tour of the Jewish Museum's collection via Zoom. Please go to slide 11. March has been designated as National Women's History Month in what we plan to be an annual Jewish Historical Society of Greater New Haven tradition. We established the Judith Ann Schiff Women's History Program in collaboration with the New Haven Museum and inspired our sister organization, the Jewish Historical Society of Greater Hartford. The inaugural event paid fitting homage to Judy of blessed memory, one of our organization's founders and past presidents. Other great New Haven trailblazing Jewish women honored in this event were Yale School of Nursing Dean Florence Wald, visual artist Annie Albers, and Connecticut Supreme Court Judge the Honorable Ellen Ash Peters. An enthusiastic audience was treated to visual displays, including an elegant showcase prepared by Jake Griffith Rosenberger, our project archivist, an attractive and engaging brochure prepared by Carol Bass, and a host of speakers sharing their personal and professional memories of Judy, including our board member and past president, Rhoda Samuel. Later in the month, Jake presented a peek inside the JHS G&H archives from his perspective via Zoom to our membership. May is Great Give Month, when the Jewish Historical Society joins over 500 nonprofit organizations and a community-wide fundraising drive led by the Community Foundation of Greater New Haven. For the last few years, we have used this campaign to educate and engage our community with photographs and information about materials housed within our archives and the value of preserving our local Jewish history. We kicked off the campaign this year with a sidewalk event on the afternoon of May 2nd and held it with the co-sponsors, Ricotta Kosher Pizza and Bakery. They are located on Chapel Street in New Haven. It was an opportunity to meet and greet members of our community, as well as our own members, as we promoted the Jewish Historical Society. It was also an opportunity to welcome our new neighbor and co-sponsor Ricotta, whose owners earmarked a portion of the afternoon's profits to our Great Give effort. We also marked the 35th anniversary of the establishment of the Ethnic Heritage Center, the home of our archives and offices. An open house event featuring presentations of our archival treasures and those of other ethnic societies attracted a standing room only crowd and celebrated the work of the EHC, perhaps most notably, Walk New Haven's historical cultural neighborhood tours, coordinated once again by Rhoda Samuel. And speak of Walk New Haven, in June, our own board members, Aaron Good and Rob Forbes, led us in a most stimulating and informative walking tour of Jewish sites in downtown New Haven. They did an outstanding job of engaging the crowd and left them begging for an encore tour. We will conclude this year's extraordinary schedule of programs offerings with the launch of our Judaica project, developed by Rabbi Rena Judd, the spiritual leader of Quinnipiac University's Peter C. Harold House, The Jewish Life. In collaboration with Jake Griffith Rosenberger and various guest presenters, we will share the importance of collecting and preserving Jewish objects and preserving their stories, and their historical significance. We are grateful to the Jewish Federation of Greater New Haven for its generous support of this project through a community impact grant. These programs are made possible through your membership and generous donations to the Society. Now I will invite Vice President Michael Dimenstein to share with you the highlights of this year's activities and achievements.
Thanks, Marjorie. In addition to the informative and engaging programs just described by Marjorie, the Jewish Historical Society had an outstanding year of accomplishments, which I'll share with you. In September, following a 2-year hiatus of in-person celebrations, the Jewish Historical Society honored Hyla and Barry Vine at a well-attended 2022 awards brunch held at the JCC. The program theme was the Jewish sports history of Greater New Haven, and it featured a talk by David Beckerman, who coached the 1979 JCC basketball team to a national championship, and it was emceed by our board member, David Schlossberg. Special thanks to our dedicated treasurer, Harold Miller, for securing the honorees and speaker, and to Elizabeth Brochin for sharing the scrapbook materials and photos of her father, Bert Resnick, of blessed memory, a local golfing celebrity and community leader. Sincere thanks also to Ida Kaplan for overseeing the sumptuous brunch arrangements with the East of Eden caterers. Our dedicated archival staff made possible our visual presentation and an outstanding photographic display. Both socially and philanthropically, this was one of the most successful post-pandemic gatherings of our community. As mentioned earlier, we established the Judith Ann Schiff Women's History Program as an annual tribute to the memory of our beloved leader. Under Jake Griffith Rosenberger's leadership, our organization continued to engage in state-of-the-art archival technology enhancements by our membership in Connecticut Collections, by taking advantage of the opportunity to undergo a professional archival assessment through a grant supported by the partnership of the Connecticut Heritage Foundation and Connecticut Humanities. Next slide. Other partnerships were pursued with Yale University libraries for reference materials and manuscripts. Jake continued to pursue the work that he had begun previously on the New Haven Jewish Home for the Aged collection with the support of the Jewish Foundation funding. Daniel Harpin contributed to our technology upgrades by digitizing 8 of our 10 volumes of Jews in New Haven, by enhancing our Jewish Historical Society of Greater New Haven website, and by optimizing the capabilities of our Little Green Light membership and development database. Throughout the year, our social media presence was expanded and utilized more fully to get out the word about our important work. Next slide. Among our most important accomplishments last year was our success in securing grant funding in support of projects, operational activities, and staffing. We received over $26,000 in new grant money to enable us to continue to improve the quality of our services and extend our reach farther into the community. And the grants that are listed there came from several different sources: the Jewish Foundation, Greater New Haven, the Community Foundation for Greater New Haven, Connecticut Humanities, Conservation Connection, and the Jewish Federation's Community Impact Grant.
Thank you, Michael. Now I would like to invite our treasurer, Harold Miller, to share a brief synopsis of last year's financial picture, the source of our funding, and where we stand today.
I prepared this. Michael, you didn't tell me I'd be speaking, but I certainly look forward. Obviously, it was a very successful year. Cash-wise, and as you could see on that date as of May 12th, with a balance of about $80,000, of which we now have allocated $50,000 into a CD at Webster Bank at a very generous interest rate. Seeing as you know, we have to obviously make use of this money. You can't just leave that amount sitting in a checking account. The amounts you see under dues and the great give and the other fundraising, you know, have to be augmented by amounts that are sitting in our PayPal account at the moment to be transferred over. So those are not as complete. The income from the annual award celebration, about $32,000, was excellent. We've never, you know, more than we'd ever received in the past. The grants were more. Everything, you know, pretty much was up. The assets under management of the foundation was down a little bit because of the, you know, the stock market had a struggling year last year. So it's off somewhat, but obviously it's in good hands, and that's all you know, monitored and invested by Lisa Stanger over at the Jewish Foundation. So that's a synopsis, and you can see that where we may have started off the year at 53,000, at the end of the year we're up to 80. You know, I mean, on a cash basis alone, we did pretty good.
Well, thank you, Harold. I think so too. Thank you for your report and continued dedication to
Okay.
maintaining the financial health of our organization. Now I return to Michael, Chair of our Governance Committee, to present our slate of officers and members of the Board of Directors for the coming year.
Thanks, Marjorie. On behalf of the Governance Committee, I present the following slate for the 2023-2024 fiscal year. President Michael Dimenstein, Vice President Ida Kaplan, Treasurer Harold Miller, who will remain in his role as treasurer until a replacement is identified, Assistant Treasurer David Schwartz, Secretary Jordan Levin, Assistant Secretary Adele Messina, and our immediate past president will be Marjorie Drucker. Next slide. Our board of directors will be comprised of Peter Alpert, Arthur Barger, Harvey Bixson, Elizabeth Brochen, Robert Kaplan, Robert Forbes, Leah Glazer, Mimi Glenn, Aaron Good, Leonard Honeyman, Burton Levine, Sidney Levine, Stephen Nairn, Rhoda Samuel, and David Schlossberg. Please, and congratulations, by the way, to everyone who has been elected to serve in the coming year. As you can see, we've got a very loyal set of board members, including 4 past presidents that will be part of our board in the coming year. And we're also going to be welcoming 3 new board members, Arthur Barger, Harvey Bixson, and Bob Kaplan. So it's going to be another exciting and productive year. I'm pleased to recognize the contributions of 2 members of the board of directors who've completed their terms as officers. Burton Levine, who most recently served as our immediate past president, and Elizabeth Brochen, who most recently served as our assistant secretary. Both Burton and Elizabeth will continue to serve on our board as directors. Thank you to both for their extraordinary dedication to the Jewish Historical Society and to our board of directors. Next slide. Next slide. Marjorie.
I want to take this opportunity to thank our dedicated board of directors for all they do throughout the year. And now I have the bittersweet task of turning this meeting over to our incoming president, Michael Dimenstein. But before I do, allow me to share some reflections on the past few years. I have had the privilege of watching the development of this organization over the past 4 years. First, as co-president with Burton Levine for our 3-year stint, and then 1 year as the current president. One of our goals was to develop a strong infrastructure by strengthening our communication and data collection techniques. Another goal was to hire archivists with the background and experience to strengthen our collections and catalogs. These two goals have been achieved with the use of Little Green Light as one example of our technology and data collection platform, and the hiring of Jacob Griffith Rosenberger and Daniel Harpin. This year, new challenges emerged with the loss of Daniel, who had been instrumental and acted as the technical archivist for our organization. Daniel took another position this past spring, but was so helpful in helping us reach these goals. We have recently hired Giuliana Paolini as our new technical assistant to continue the work that Daniel began. Our research archivist, Patricia Illingworth, had been on leave of absence since January and only returned to the Society this past month. Through these months, even with these challenges, we applied for grants and collaborated with other organizations. Jacob continued to strengthen our archival procedures and work on the Jewish Home for the Aged material, along with several other new initiatives that he took on, the Judaica Project and our now annual Judith Schiff's Women History Program. You can see we've come a long way in developing these two areas, and I could not be prouder of these achievements. One of my personal goals was to increase the exposure of the organization to others in the community. We have firmly established ourselves within the Jewish Federation of Greater New Haven, and they see the importance of our role in the community as the preservers and the collectors of the history of Jewish New Haven. We have worked with other groups such as the New Haven Preservation Trust, the Jewish Historical Society of Greater Hartford, and the New Haven Museum. The momentum is swinging in the right direction for the path we are on to continue. Without this exposure, others would not be aware of our importance and the need to support us financially and through membership. So I'm very happy and pleased that this personal goal of mine has also been achieved. The job of president is not a one-person position anymore. It takes many hands and minds to achieve what we have achieved this year. Vice President and now President Michael Dimenstein has been an important partner in everything that I did this past year. He provided hours and hours of his time, assisting me in all the duties of the presidency. Special thanks to Michael and Jake for preparing and presenting this annual report slide presentation that we have seen tonight. I have the greatest admiration and respect for Michael as a leader and as a friend. You will be in good hands with Michael at the helm. I will be close by supporting him as he has done for me. I wish him and the rest of the officers and directors of the Society all the best in the coming year. Thank you.
Thank you, Marjorie. On behalf of the board, please join me in recognizing Marjorie Drucker for her steadfast leadership, her tireless efforts, creativity, and vision that have guided the Jewish Historical Society to where it has evolved today. Marjorie will be changing her title and will become our immediate past president, but her innovative spirit and unwavering support will not be leaving us. I'm so grateful to Marjorie for all she's done to help us transform ourselves as a 21st century organization, recognized within our community, and as we remain focused on our important mission. On behalf of the Jewish Historical Society Board of Directors, it is my honor to present Marjorie with this Eshet Chayil Woman of Valor ceramic plaque, an original design crafted in Israel. The concept of Eshet Chayil is described in the book of Proverbs, and the verses are traditionally attributed to King Solomon. The woman of valor is described as someone who sets the tone of love, spirituality, and personal growth for herself and all those around her. We have been blessed to have Marjorie's strength and talents in our organization. She has been visionary in her leadership, and she dares to share her dreams and the potential she sees for improving our organization. She's been able to identify opportunities for the Jewish Historical Society to be valued and relevant to a changing, more diverse set of constituents. And she has the courage, perhaps the chutzpah, to seize these important opportunities and act on them. I am humbled to follow in Marjorie's footsteps and look forward to keeping her close to me as an advisor and colleague. Mazel tov on your important legacy to our society.
Thank you so very much. This is beautiful, and I will treasure this always. It's beautiful.
And I'll actually get to hand it to you tomorrow when I see
Okay.
you.
I look forward to touching it. It's gorgeous. Thank you so very much, everyone.
As we conclude this year's annual meeting, we want to thank you for attending this evening and for your membership and generous support of the Jewish Historical Society of Greater New Haven. We look forward to seeing you at our annual awards celebration. Next slide. At our annual award celebration brunch, a very special and exciting event that we're planning for Sunday, October 15th at the JCC of Greater New Haven. Very recently, Robin Toplitsky has agreed to be among the year's honorees, and over the coming weeks, we will be providing more details about the event. Please save the date and join us. That concludes our business meeting, and if there are any questions that people